Hello, my name is Zhatelier, and welcome back for another episode of Shadow Empire. In previous episode, we're facing quite a bit of tanks in the south as well as in the east. Now you can see that the enemies aren't actually at the positions right now, and the lines may have changed a little bit, but that is because we are about 15 rounds into the future. There's been a lot of trial and error of me trying to salvage the situation. I think we stabilized the situation at least now, and one of the reasons why I brought you here now instead of skipping further ahead, is because we've gotten our first new tank. And let's actually change the designations there, but we've got a dragon, which is a medium tank with a medium laser gun. It's got 100mm of polymer plating, which I believe is either the same or, well, actually, is that the same as the all-rounder? It's actually less than what the all-rounder has, but regardless, it was a lot more tested vehicle, I guess. But it also uses less ammo per round of combat, as well as less fuel per hex move, so it's going to be overall a lot better, plus it has a lot higher attack values, so that will also help quite a bit. So actually that's one of the things that we should probably do right now, is get a few of those. They are a bit expensive admittedly, but we should probably build a few as an extra to sort of pre-plan a little bit, so we'll get 3 of those, and then I think the situation, I've done most of the fighting already for this, and actually not quite all of it. We could do a quick little battle over here, for example. We'll use up these 2 tanks to push back the enemy a bit further. Should be quite easy battle. Oh, we pushed them back. We didn't really kill anything, unfortunately. And now we can't attack that one. Okay, never mind. Well, it could have been better, perhaps. And there's a bit of enemies in there. I don't know if that's going to stay there or not. I could potentially... Well, no, that I can't do an attack right now. So I think we're fine over there. One of the things that we do need to do, though, is get a little bit more troops around here to make sure that we don't lose this road, because there's some enemies cutting across the mountains here. So we've got a decent bit of recruits stored up right now. I'm going to raise a new formation, and we're going to go with the brigade level. I think we're going to go with the Grenadier Infantry, because we got our... Well, first of all, we'll go with the line troops, and we won't go with the Forlings, actually. Even the Forling tools, although those do have lasers, so that can be quite useful. But we got the RPG 4s, AMG 3s, and Line Troop 4s. I think that'll be a good one. It's a bit expensive, perhaps, but it could be a lot worse. And next round we can start sending... Well, second speaking, we'd probably send a unit or 2 down that way. We'll take the 1st battalion already. We don't have the... Oh, the 1st... Yeah, but the battalion. We don't have a commander over here yet, but we could move this one over there. That's going to cause a bit of issues for the logistics, perhaps. We could maybe take another one over here to guard that one as well. So at least they won't be able to cut off the road quite as easily. And then I think the other 3 will be heading in here to keep the northern areas clear, hopefully. I think they might be moving across the river next round and cutting off that area. Maybe, but I'm not entirely sure. In the north, we've had a bit of problems with the natives sort of breaking out of there, but right now it's just the troops are a bit low on fuel, and that's causing a lot of the issues. We're doing our best in trying to keep them at bay, but that might not be quite enough. I'm going to move the machine gunners down here, actually, just so that they can't just get over there. They might still cut through there, but at least we've got a bit more sort of defenses against them. And then in the east, we've taken a little bit more land. We're getting attacked by some beasts over there quite frequently, but that's not too bad. In the island of Unsung, we got a little bit of supply issues right now because we don't have our fuel. One of the things that I could do, though, maybe... Don't actually know if we can. We may need to bring in some oil in here, or fuel in here. Oh, right, we needed to get a road over there, didn't we? Yes, we could actually do that. So now we could, in theory, start constructing a oil drilling facility in here. We got the power production in this zone already. So that's going to allow us to keep the things running in here, and we might move some of the oil back into the other area now, slowly but surely. But the Eastern Front is fairly stable right now. I mean, we pushed back them from a few... Oh, actually, there's one other thing that I should probably do. Since we decided to pull back from there because we just couldn't get our supplies in there for reasons. Actually, I suppose one of the things that I should do is build a truck depot in here. Or the not truck depot, the supply base in here. That would be fairly cheap, and it would allow us to transport stuff a bit further. So that might actually be one of the reasons why we're not really getting that much fuel for the troops in here. But that will probably help. And then another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to demolish this road for now. Simply for the reason that I want to make sure that the enemy can't be sort of getting the easy road in here. And we can keep them at bay a little bit better, hopefully. But with that, I think we're ready to go to the next round. They seem to be pulling back quite a bit of troops in the south now. They did cut off the northern peninsula there. On the western front, and... well, Bruno, as usual, is just moving troops around. I don't think they'll be doing much. Nope. Now we got a cut off with the supplies in the north against the minor territory again. The 600 serpents that were killed. So yeah, that was all the kills happening there. Water purification completed. Do need more mining assets. We're working on that one. Let's have a look at the decision. So no, we don't need to do changes there. Economic Council. So we could, I guess we could go for the mining robotization. I don't know what it does actually. Allows me to robotize mining assets, but how exactly that happens, I don't know. We're going to use a bit of military to put down some rebellious workers. We could upgrade Kazoo to a small town, yes please, because that's going to allow us to upgrade our airfields. And the 11th Grenadier Infantry Brigade needs a new commander. I guess that seems to be quite capable. Decent suitability rating anyway. So now, let's have a look at the Eastern Front. So there's not really that many enemies in here right now. I suppose they're taking such a heavy casualties that they can't really afford doing much else. Let's put in 100 all-rounders in here. We might take a little bit losses, but we've got some of those new tanks in reserve. So if and when we start losing some tanks, we can fix that issue. Let's just put it that way. But there we go. We pushed back the enemy tanks once again. And the tanks that they do have here have taken quite hefty casualties in the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 rounds. I think at least around 500 tanks total. Like, they of course have been getting reinforcements and all that, so it's not like they've simply just lost all of it, but they've taken casualties, let's just put it that way. We could do a bit of an attack with these two in here. Seems to be quite successful. That's another 30 tanks and a specialist. I could, no, well, I suppose I could actually move this in here, and we're going to try to move it over there again to provide some more coverage on the sort of front line there. And we've got on another set of barriers over here because they were doing a lot of airstrikes in here for a while. Especially while we held that one, they were doing a lot of airstrikes there. But now we've got a pretty good air coverage in the north. Or anti-air coverage rather, I suppose. They've still got quite a bit of troops in here, so we're not necessarily quite ready to push them out all the way. We're definitely good enough to start dealing some damage, that's for sure. I could maybe, I'm going to send in one of these tanks to clear out the enemy on the mountain. Or not. Could I actually do a airstrike with our helicopters in here? No, that's a bit too far away. It's about 2 hexes too far. I mean, we don't have a massive amount of fuel in here, so that's a problem. And also, something that was pointed out in the comments, and thank you for that, I did actually notice it during my tests here already by that point, trying to get in the position where I can actually continue the playthrough without having a massive disaster at our hands, was that the planes that we were, I was upgrading one of the planes earlier, but I was looking at the jet engine rather than turbojet engine. So that was the problem. Like, the turbojet engines are actually pretty darn good. We did, I think we did get a new design already. Was that a fighter? Yeah, the Raven 3. So this one's got the turbojet engines. It's got a range of 25 hex, which is pretty insane. Plus, it's got fairly good weapons and all that. So these are our new interceptors that we might be using. We don't really have too many of those yet. I think it's got the same weaponry as the Raven 2, actually, but it's got a massive increase in the engine power. Like, this one's got a range of 10 hexes, which isn't too bad, but it's nothing compared to the Raven, which has, or the Raven 3, which has even more. Plus, it only uses 0.3 fuel per hex, whereas this one uses 0.8. Admittedly, we have increased the fuel efficiency and all that quite a bit in the process. But yeah, go for those engines will help a lot. Of course, since it's a light vehicle, or light plane, needs to have a level 2 airfield, which, technically speaking, we could start building one over here now. Sure, let's do that. Upgrade that one. And then I'm going to probably send in some colonists over here to keep things going. We're going to get the supply base properly done next round. We do have the artillery in here. the rocket artillery. We could maybe do a bit of a damage on some of these, but I guess we don't have... Yeah, the recon that we have is kind of limited on most of this. So it might be better just to hold off on now. We do have the recon planes in here, but they also have their Thopter interceptors, which I believe we've got some... We've got a design for the Thopters at least. Do we actually? If we do, it would be a fighter bomber, if I remember correctly. Ah, there we go. Yeah, we got Wizard. It's got medium turbojet engine, medium anti-air missiles, and small rockets. And it's got a range of 25 hex, so it's pretty decent, I dare say. It's got really good attack values. We don't actually have any of these, I don't think. No, we don't. So we might want to raise one of those, but we don't have necessarily enough machinery for that quite yet. And how is Unsung D's? Okay, so it's got a little bit... We send in some fuel so they can at least do the construction work in here slowly. And then they'll start getting their own fuel. And at that point, they, other than... Well, I mean, technically speaking, we can make our own ammo in here now that I think of it. Let's go ahead and use the workshop for a brief moment. We'll get like 50 ammo. That'll probably be good enough for now. And then we have the battle over there already. This one's got a decent bit of action points still remaining, but that's not necessarily something that we want to use quite yet. Plus, we've got a bit of planes in here. We've got Apaches, which is our sort of interceptor helicopter, which I believe it's got a little bit of... Actually, does it have? It's got a twin-engine high-speed heavy machine gun. So no, it doesn't really have anything air-to-ground weapons. But that's alright. I mean, its role is fighter anyway. We do have our Hueys in here. We could maybe try to do a quick little... You know what? Let's use our grasshoppers just in case. I know that I get reminded quite often about using the recon planes that we have. So let's try to do a bit of a recon over here then. I might send in one of the interceptors to assist there just in case. Yeah, because they brought in their fighters as well. We didn't lose anything though. And now that we used up some of their planes, let's go ahead and use the air attack in here. We could potentially send in... Is that ninth one? Is that... I think we'll send the Apaches in here, actually. Now they don't have planes, and we might... Oh, there we go. We destroyed 10 tanks. Don't think we'll be doing any extra damage than that, but regardless, we at least destroyed something. And they're taking more and more losses. So over time, they are losing the attrition battles in here, hopefully. Problem is, of course, that we are fighting two-front war, so that makes life a little bit harder for us. I don't suppose these do have anti-tank guns. No, well, I suppose there is an anti-tank gun. No, 20 of them, actually. Okay. But we don't have... No, actually, we could do an attack in there. It's only 10 tanks as far as we know, so you know what? Let's give it a try. Admittedly, the anti-tank guns that we do have in there aren't necessarily the best. We did win that. We get in there, so what do we know? They've got some tanks there, that's not too bad. I'm going to move in the AA guns a little bit closer, so at least we got coverage over here, and this one's covered by the man-pads. Admittedly, man-pads aren't necessarily the best, but it's good enough for now. We could maybe send in the infantry over here to assist. This one's some anti-tank guns, and, well, that's actually pretty much it. It's only anti-tank guns there. We can move the infantry over there, and we can have the black guns over there. It does have a bit of machine guns to assist, although these machine guns are actually quite old. I think it's not the one that we got from there, but yeah, it's a bit of an older anti-air regiment in here. Or battalion, rather. But anyway, it's there. We could get our artillery in here, I guess. Let's get on there, and then do a quick range attack on the enemy in here. We don't have a good recon or anything. It's just to see if we can get some lucky hits, but no, that wasn't the case. So those all removed. We got some more troops in here. Are these ready to... Yeah, we can move these in now. This I'm going to probably keep at the crossroad for now, and they've got the tank... Oh, right, they've got infantry there. Okay, I'm going to move it down south then. Don't know how much they've got in here. I know that they've had a lot of troops in this area earlier. I don't know what the situation is at this point, though. This is the anti-air, and that's anti-air as well. Now, of course, the tanks... I can't get in there. It's just a cloud forest, though, so maybe... Admittedly, if they get there, we might be able to attack them. And then let's have a look at the north-western front against the natives in here. So they've got... Well, we've got the all-rounders in here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a bit of troops here to surround those. And then metalheads, how about you just annihilate them? There we go, they're surrendered. And I suppose the all-rounders, well, not quite ready to start fighting, but now at least we've got a fairly good front line again against them, so I don't think they'll be slipping past us again, at least not immediately, and that's going to allow us to get the supplies back to the troops. Then in the east, there was a bit of fighting in there. We don't know too much about that area, though. And I think that was about it in terms of combat now. We do have a decent bit of energy production now, although we kind of also need a lot for the units since we started using a lot of laser weaponry. So that's kind of the downside, but at the same time it means we need to use a lot less metals and industrial points to get our ammo on a regular basis. We do have a little bit of Cobras in here, which do we have the air attack range? Not really. It doesn't really have a lot of fuel. We do have also the Apaches, but they are not really meant for ground attack. Oh, and I brought in some blitzers in here from the west, from the east front, to have a bit of tanks on this area. We got a bit of tanks in the north. Was this? That was the blockers and all-rounders. Okay. So if they do attack there, I think we might be able to at least attack them. If not, then, you know, we'll just cut them off and clear the unit outright. I mean, it's a lot of infantry. They've got a little bit of anti-tank capabilities as well. And then they've got at least 200. And then 600 infantry. So that's something. They might try to go around here as well. We've got a bit of reinforcements on their way. But I think, well, you know what? I'm going to send in one of these as a strategic movement. To cover that one. And just wait there for 3 moments. But, like, we'll need to bring in a bit more troops in here to guard this flank as well as push these back across the mountains. Or at least into the mountains, if nothing else. And we do have a bit of tanks in here that could potentially move forward. Just to provide a bit more cover. Which means that, oh, we should have moved the AA there then. Well, we could move the infantry in there at least. We do have our Hueys over here. Are they... No, they don't really have a range on anything right now. Alright, well, other than what the sea monsters over there are. But that's about. We could move across the river in here, but I think it's going to be better for us to wait at least one more round. I could potentially... where do we actually have... It was one of the independent tank battalions, if I remember correctly. Like the medium tank battalions that still had some all-rounder ones. It's not there. Is it the one in here? Oh, yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to replace that one with Dragon. So we'll get some laser tanks in here. And with that, I believe we've gotten rid of the last one of our all-rounder ones, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I'm just going to put these obsolete. And then, yeah, the rest of the can stay as is. Slowly but surely, upgrading everything. They do have a decent bit of troops in here. I don't think they'll be getting through much of it. But they've got some troops. We're not ready to move in there. Oh, okay, so let's get to the next round, shall we? They are bringing a lot of troops there. Oh, and they cut off the road again. Okay, well, we'll just cut the unit out of supplies and we'll destroy it. I knew that could happen. And I was kind of expecting it, quite frankly. Oh, wow. Okay, so they did slip past there again. In the northwest. Well, we killed another 600. We didn't lose anything. Other than a lot of supply lines. Let's have a look at the decisions. Bureaucratic point production goes from... Oh, that would be quite a bit. But I suppose we are... I'll take it. Don't know if we actually need to do it. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, admittedly. Blind Science Council task priorities. Yeah, no, that's fine. Minor Worker Strike in Unsung D. We're going to give in to some of their demands in there. Minor Worker Strike in Taz. Well, that's not too bad. Give in to demands there as well. Right, so let's start with the Northwestern Front. So we've already cut them off. How about we just attack that bastard? Maybe not with that one. Oh, wow. Okay, well, we took a bit of casualties there. We've got some reinforcements arriving from here. We use a strategic movement to go over there. You can move a little bit closer as well. I suppose so you could do a strategic movement in here as well. So we'll have 2 of these units in here. So at least we cut it off of supplies already. And that will be sorted out soon enough. They're trying to push through here as well, so I'm just going to just collapse the front, or, you know, bring in the troops a little bit. They've got some artillery in there. They've got the hold the line focus. Okay. They've got a lot of tanks over here, but I don't think they'll be able to attack the troops in the mountains right now, at least. So that's good. But yeah, they've got a decent bit of troops in here that we'll need to deal with. On this area, we're not in too bad of a shape, actually. They've got a bit of troops in here, just motorcycle units. We could do a bit of a artillery attack in here, I guess. We are getting a few hits at least, but no kills, unfortunately. Then over here, they started bringing a bit more troops. Let's go ahead and clear out the tanks in the snow area first. There we go, that's 10 tanks pushed out of there. I guess these could move in. I'm gonna move that around there, and I guess this could be also in here. So now we've got air coverage on all of these, plus that one. We're in pretty good shape. These have started digging into the mountains. We've got the trimmer guns there. We could... don't know if we can actually upgrade. No, we can't upgrade these. We can replace them if we lose them or something. Got some GI-1s in there. Okay, I'm gonna upgrade that one at least for line troop 4. And the AMG, we could probably upgrade to the AMG 3s. There's a bit more defensiveness in here. All onto the area. There's a bit of artillery to the flank here. I don't know if we are quite in position to do much about them right now. We'll see what we can do later on. So that's pretty much the western front. And then in the eastern front, they got a little bit of troops again. Go ahead and take a couple tanks. Oh, one of them surrendered. And the other one pulled back. Alright, I think it's time to push in with some tanks through here. Let's also push in the AA guns and a bit of infantry to dig in. We got the rocket artillery in here to do a bit of a range attack on this one. Ooh, we got a kill. There we go. We got another AA in here, but that's probably going to be fine. So we got the infantry digging in. We've got the airbase over here underway. It's not quite completed yet. Might as well send a bit more workers into Gazoo Rapture for now. And then over here, are we... right, not range attack movement. We might be able to do a bit of a strike on them with these units. So either we destroy a lot of them, or we take a little bit of losses and we can start replacing those losses with the new tanks. So either way, we're going to be probably on the top over here. On this, at least. We could probably... oh, alright, let's actually move these in here. And then we're going to take the 100 tanks over here, attack into the plains that they keep on trying to, or keep trying to conquer, and they lost another 30 tanks there. Excellent. We got the anti-air coverage in here fairly well. We got a bit of planes in here as well now that seem to be in a slightly better situation with the fuel. Still not perfect by any means, but it's better. How much do we have fuel? We're slowly running out of fuel, actually. Using about 20 per round. How long until the oil drill? That's going to be done probably after the next round. So yeah, we'll have enough to get things going. We might not keep the production at full, especially with the metal mine. We could probably reduce the production like 50%. Because we don't use too much stuff in this particular zone. It's just a little bit here and there. I don't suppose we've got a... well, we've got the air bridge, but I think that might be just used for transporting stuff between the zones. Oh, wait, no. Okay. We can actually transport a little bit of stuff there. I might want to move in a machinery or two. So the air bridge does still work. It gives us a bit of points there. Nothing massive, mind you. It's still better than nothing. Over here, there's nothing to worry about. Over here, there's the... oh, right, that one's pushing through. Okay, well, let's go ahead and send in... is this... this is the all-rounders blockers. I'm just going to move that one along. Get a bit of infantry in here. This one could start moving. Well, you know what? Let's just leave it in... you know what? Yeah, we'll push it in. We won't have a lot of supplies for now until we cut off this annoyance in here. We've got militia. We've got the vermin noise in here, so I think we'll be able to at least hold it in place. Of course, I could also move this one somewhere. There's a lot of oil in here, actually, that we should probably utilize at Taz at some point. Another one is to utilize the oil over here. We've got 16,000 there. You know what? I'm going to build another oil drill facility in there. Also getting a lot of energy now, since we've been building up a lot of the various power production, including some nuclear power. But we haven't, well, it's just going to take a little while to get everything sorted. So these are at least covering the front here. We do need to get a bit more troops over there in the north. Oh, I think they cut off the road there. Right, I see what they're doing. They're just trying to destroy the logistics that I have, and then they'll build their own things instead. I mean, kind of makes sense. Right, here's the blitzers. Now, where do we want to put these? If we can get them on the road there, we can, well, I don't think they're going to be good enough against those. The motorcycles we might be able to push back. Of course, mountains isn't really the best location or terrain for these. There's more motorcycles over there. Alright then, well, we've got a little bit of helicopters in here, but I don't think we're going to be using those this round. And the anti-tank guns have started digging in. It's unfortunately only tundra, so the max entrenchment is only 50. But that is still an improvement. We could maybe move the... No, we can't move the air defense this round, but next round we might be able to get the air defense over here. So we'd have air coverage on the entire front with the bigger guns, in case they have some planes in here. I don't know if they do, but they probably do. We've got a decent bit of light armor battalions in here, but that's not necessarily going to break through. I mean, we've got the trimmer gun 3s over here, which are actually quite effective, especially against the non-infantry. They've got over 1,000 hit points. And, you know, they got a fairly good hard defense and all that. We could potentially use a bit of artillery over here to deal some ranged damage. Don't know if we'll be able to deal much of a damage, admittedly, but it's better than nothing. There we go. And I suppose we got some planes in here. We got, what's the Ravens? That's the fighter squadron. So we've got the Hawks over here that could perhaps do a bit of an air attack on... Actually, where do we want to do that? Don't know if they've got stuff at the airfield in there. Just out of curiosity. Oh, they do have planes there. Oh, and they're shooting down some of these. I kind of knew that that might be the case. We're going to get the Hawk 3s at some point in the too distant future. But at least we figure out where they have some of the... Actually, no, that wasn't even the planes. There's 2 headquarters, some Grand Republic grade infantry, some machine gunners, and some infantry. Okay, so they got the planes somewhere even further back, I guess. We do also have a little bit of infantry in here that could perhaps move forward if need be. Although we've got 3 infantry in there, could also just stay here for now. As a bit of reserve, because if they do break through somewhere, I don't think they will be breaking through much right now. We could do a bit of a artillery strike of the infantry in here, I guess, as well. Let's do that. Admittedly, it's only 20 guns, so I don't think it will be doing much. Especially these are, I think these are still the AG-1s. Yeah, no, we didn't really do anything. I mean, they probably dug in fairly well there as well. But I believe with that, we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.